I just realized something now, and that is the fact that what some of our artists have been singing about politicians many years ago, some of us are just coming to realize it now. Recall that when African China used to sing the song, "Poor man wait thief Maggie Omo, then go show him face for crime fighter. Rich man wait thief money Omo, we need to see their face for crime fighter." Many of us never understood what they actually meant. Now, just a few hours ago, a video has popped up online of a senator who was caught live on camera stating that he usually influences his wife, who was a judge, to make decisions on cases here in Nigeria. And information has it that an investigation was done on this senator, and at the end of the day, the result of the investigation was futile. I'd like you to take a look at the discussions that happened in Arise News Studio just a few hours ago, as it has gone ahead to expose some of the shenanigans of the judicial system here in Nigeria, particularly with respect to the Daily Fautimi saga that is trending in Nigeria. Recall that information has it that Daily Fautimi is also going to be coming to court just tomorrow. Do well to drop your thoughts in the comment section, and intentionally do well to touch the like button. We want YouTube and Facebook to recommend this video so that more people can get to see the shenanigans in the judicial system.
Human rights activist and lawyer Chidi Odinkalu has caused a frenzy on social media with his article titled "In the Matter of Daily Fautimi Before the Star Chamber," after revealing that the Ekiti State Criminal Law of 2021 does not include the crime of criminal libel or defamation, which human rights advocate Daily Fautimi is being charged for. The lawyer further stated that Section 70 of the law only contains a crime of causing disaffection or breach of the peace through offensive publication, which is punishable by 6 months in prison. And that is, however, not the issue in Fautimi's case. Odinkalu also stressed in his article that the charges presented by the Nigerian police force did not also disclose a crime over which a magistrate in Ekiti State could purport to exercise lawful jurisdiction, and that despite the absence of jurisdiction, the magistrate proceeded with undue haste to order the remand of Daily Fautimi in prison until December 10th, a day ironically set aside to mark International Human Rights Day. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Atedo Peter's side. He wrote, "I consider this article by Chidi Odinkalu to be compulsory reading for those who still wonder what all the fuss is about Daily Fautimi being abducted in Lagos to appear before an Ekiti magistrate. Thousands of Nigerians are charged to court every day, and many of us do not get involved if they are not remanded in custody for a misdemeanor unnecessarily. We leave them to defend themselves before a court that we presume will give them a fair hearing. We only get excited when we fear that some rich man or man might be using their privileged position in society to get the police to go after a poorer person. Hashtag free Daily Fautimi." While Mood wrote, "If truly the Ekiti State Criminal Law of 2021 no longer recognizes criminal libel or defamation, Daily Fautimi's arrest raises serious legal and constitutional concerns. Was his arrest based on outdated laws or misrepresentation of the current legal framework? Transparency and adherence to the rule of law are essential to maintain public trust in the justice system. Unfortunately, the ship of trust has since sailed." Well, Daily Fautimi's arrest continues to spark controversy over the powers of the judiciary and the rule of law. An old video of Adamu Bukachiwa, the senator representing Bauchi North, has now resurfaced on social media, where he stated during a valedictory session of the 9th Senate that he often influenced his wife, Zainab Bukachiwa, a former president of the Court of Appeal's decisions while she was in office, an accusation she vehemently denied.
"I know, I look at faces in this chamber whom have come to me and sought for my help when my wife was the president of the Court of Appeal. We know ourselves. I must say that, okay, to round up, since that's what you want me to do, I will do that. And I must thank particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea going this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Alright, Dr. Abati, you know that this video will come up because it is quite apt given the time that we are in right now. And
the matter is now of public interest. That's why you find everybody commenting. Well, Chidi Onikalu has a PhD in law, so
yes,
he knows what he's talking about. But the issues he has raised, let's just break them down very quickly. He's talking about jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is very important. It's the legal capacity of a court to take decision on any particular matter, and jurisdiction is properly defined. Magistrate courts, for example, cannot inquire into land matters and so on and so forth. If you keep 5 lawyers in a room, they will have different opinions depending on the authority that they cite. Now, Ayani SAM, for example, argues that Otikalu is wrong because he's talking about who took the case to the court. State courts cannot prosecute federal offenses. And he says in this particular case, the prosecutor is not the Attorney General of Ekiti State, it is the Inspector General of Police. So that's one argument from Ayani SAN. 2, he says that the Anyebe case has been overtaken by events and has been whittled down in Tanko versus the state, which is a 2011 case. In other words, there's a later precedent that should be cited rather than the 1986 case. And he said, in fact, it is not true that state courts cannot try, federal offenses.
Besides jurisdiction, the fact that what he's being accused of is not...
he cited that, but also what I want to talk about, Dr. Abati cited that, what I want to talk about is also the misstep in the procedure. Because now the police have now filed another case at the Federal High Court. I'm sure they probably had seen that they had a misstep in the first procedure arresting Daily Pharaoh team. So many questions will suffice. Why was the Attorney General of the state not in this in the first place? If the police was trying to prosecute him, going to arrest him to be prosecuted in Ekiti State. And secondly, the fact that you took a man all the way from Lagos against his way to Ekiti State, prosecuting under a law that does not exist in Ekiti State. Because until Chidi Onikalu's revelation, which kudos to him for, all of us on this table erroneously believe that criminal defamation is part of the law in Ekiti State. That was a lie that we're meant to believe.
Yeah, that was the main...
Until...
We had raised the Lagos one.
In fact, we had raised the Lagos one, but we said no, it is actually applicable in Ekiti. Until Chidi Onikalu brought that revelation. And I did go back to study it. In fact, I saw all of it. It was only that section 70 that I talked about public breach based on a publication.
And that's a 6-month deal.
The fact that it doesn't exist there. And the Daily team probably might bring that up because it's a very important point. Secondly, as regards the point Chidi also raised, that the burden of proof will be on those that are prosecuting. Yeah. The burden of proof will be on the police that came to arrest as also prosecuting to be able to go one step further to prove that he actually defamed, Chief Afe Babalola. Going another step further is also the case of the human rights breach that is filed. Because I think that's really a double whammy now. Because now that we now know that Dele's right was not only violated, He was taken against his will for a law that does not exist in the state law. And the magistrates, and that's why the NJC too should also come into this.
Yeah, I believe.
The magistrate that sat down and was quick not to give bail and left him in incarceration for a law that does not exist in the state law. That's another part to it.
And
yes, I know, because
and he, even the magistrate court,
not having jurisdiction and sitting on the matter and remanding him in custody. And now the police has finally said, okay, let's push it up. Because at first, it wasn't a case against the IGP. It was after 2 or 3 days, after they had remanded Dele based on a law that does not exist, that the police quickly go to the Federal High Court and they say it's about the IGP, and they are now charging him based on the federal law of cyber stalking and all of that, which is another double whammy. So there are many missteps and loopholes in all of this. Like I've heard the argument and the counter argument, by all parties and all of that. But most importantly, it will be incumbent on them to be able to prove that Chief Babalola has been defamed. And also, Babalola Council granted a press conference in Ekiti where they were saying that Dele will have to prove. No, the burden of proof is not on Dele. It's on those that are prosecuting Dele that will have to prove. So that was not well said.
All right.
By the council. So there are many dimensions to this matter.
Always International Day for Human Rights, yes. Which is
Assad must prove. All these matters will be worked out in court. What Afe Babalola Chambers, in the statement they issued, is that, look, people should not take over the matter in the media. It's before the court. And a street yelling will not make any difference.
Well, so that's why Babalola has no right to tell us about street yelling. Because the matter is already in the court of public opinion.
All right.
So we have a different right. Just like this person wrote against, what's it called, Chidi on the Kanu's view. That's how everybody wrote. There's nothing called street yelling. We all comment on the matter. So he has no right to tell us that.
Even carpenters and vulcanizers,
everybody,
they are commenting. Even tuk-tuk drivers, they are commenting. Yes, but
this is the joy. This is the great thing about democracy and what we are practicing here. And everyone's opinion must be respected as well. I mean, Ayo, I think you wanted to make a very important point. Yes, I was going to say that it was pointed out tomorrow, which is the day. No, because I mentioned it. Dr. Martin, what is happening? Tomorrow is International Day. I heard her, yeah.
Alright guys, so let's take a look at some of the comments that has trended over this video. Ajibade said, unfortunately, Nigeria has 2 laws, one for the rich, another for the poor. We have Chris who said, which court is Dr. Ruben Abati? Always talking about sir. Are you part of Nigeria problems? Thank you, Mr. Rufai, for your honesty and steadfastness to expose wrong narratives. Oma said, I loved Tundus so much and still miss her. But Ayo, may God not let someone like Ayo replace me at work. I doff my hat for you, Ayo. We have Ademola who said, let us meet in court. DF is a lawyer. So many things will be unearthed, right? Transparency is the key word here. And Moye said, God is working on Nigerian judiciary before 2027 election. Iyobasa said, God bless you, Rufai, forever. God bless you, Rufai, forever. You are truly the voice of the people. Ochen said, Rufai is always on point. And Wilson said, Nigerian jurisdiction and judiciary has no capacity. Uche said, Rufai is always apolitical in comments. Politicians like Dr. Abati should not be journalists or he will be deceiving the public. Lizzie said, distinguished, I don't think it's a good idea. And Aochi said, ChatGPT AI answered me as the followers. If the alleged crime involves the content of a book and the act of writing it happened in Lagos, Lagos is a logical jurisdiction. Okay, so that happens to be by virtue of the fact that they took Dele Farotimi away from Lagos to Ekiti State to try him. Now we have Akino who said, very dissatisfied with Abati's reasoning. Amobi-san said, Antioch lawyers and their ranters. We have Hannah who said, do you still need any proof? And Dongoya said, denied. Finally, we have Ayobasa who said, Point of correction, Mr. Abati. It is not Odinakalu's view. The law of equity does not have criminal label in it, period. Instead of you to reaffirm that truth, you are busy, .. So these are some of the comments that has trended over the abduction and arraignment of Dele Farotimi that has generated a lot of reactions on the internet space. We'd love you to do well to drop your own thoughts in the comment section and touch the like button. The reason we want you to do that is so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend this video for more people to get to see as a means of courtesy for the good work we do to keep you continually informed. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We truly don't take it lightly. My name again is Moses and this is Think Tank TV. See you on our next video.